Today on Intoxicating Kitchen, we're going to make some portabello stuffed mushrooms. We're going to cook up some hamburger, but first we're going to cut up some onions and some garlic to get in with our hamburger. So let's get this started. Get our onion, and again we're using our Pampered Chef mini chopper, still not sponsored. Get this unlocked. We're going to use one whole medium onion. And this time I'm going to throw the garlic in with it. We've got 3 good sized cloves of garlic and 4 littler ones. So let's get these ready. A little bit easier to peel once you smash them, and you want to use the biggest part of your knife to get those smashed. Sometimes you smash them too much. You end up with minced garlic without trying. You can also use your garlic press with your skins on if you wanted to do that. Now that I've already got it smashed, you just put that in there, squeeze it, and your garlic comes out. And you have a skin. It's best to use that for the littlest pieces. Makes it a lot easier. That extra garlic in there, skin over there. Let's get our lid on. Get those all chopped up. Alright, we're going to take this over to the stove top where we're going to get a couple pounds of ground beef and get that in our cast iron skillet to cook. We'll see you over there. Alright guys, we've got our cast iron pan heating up, and we're going to put in 2 pounds of ground beef, and then we're going to add our onion and garlic mixture. Get this cut open. We're going to use our mix and chop from Pampered Chef, not sponsored, and that's where the cast iron skillet is from too. Let's get this mixed up. We got that on about a medium heat. We're going to dump in our onions and our garlic. And we're going to season that a little bit with some salt and pepper. We're going to get this cooked up, and then we're going to add some zucchini and some summer squash and some olives to this and some seasoning. And we'll show you that when we're ready. Alright, let's get this stuff assembled. We're going to get some summer squash, get it chopped up to add to our hamburger mixture. You can cut it as big or as small as you want. You might want it a little bit small because it is going into the hamburger mixture and into the mushrooms, unless you have giant mushrooms. And we've got our bowl of hamburger that we dished out of our pan. And then we've got a nice fresh zucchini we're also going to put in there. And I'm going to save the chunks I cut off for my chickens because they love treats. They love to pick at the zucchini and the squash ends. So they like to eat as well as we do. Again, if you don't want to use hamburger, you could always use turkey meat with this, or bison, or whatever your preference of meat is. We're going to get this put in. We're going to cut up some green olives. We like green olives in with our hamburger. And these are just some regular Greek green olives that we have. You could use black olives. You could put just about anything in this that you wanted. We're just going to slice those up. It probably ends up being about 1/4 cup. Just enough to give it a little bit of flavor in there. As you can see, I don't have the knife skills that my husband does, so it takes me a little bit longer to chop these things, but it doesn't matter. It's the fun that I have doing all this. And there you go. You can chop those up finer if you'd like. I'm going to leave them that size. Let's get these dumped into our hamburger mixture. And to that, we're also going to add about a teaspoon of cumin. Give or take a little bit if you'd like more. I'm going to add also a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to add about 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup of that tomato sauce that I made. And we're going to get that all mixed up. See how that looks, and we can always add some more sauce. I tend to also add some sauce on the very top of it so it can sink in as it cooks. This is enough for probably 4 to 6 good-sized portabello mushrooms. I only have 2 tonight because there's just the 2 of us eating. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put the rest in a container and freeze it so I have it for next time that I want a stuffed mushroom. All right, there we have that. We're going to take our cast iron skillet, and I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of this to coat the bottom so the mushrooms don't stick to it. Get that nice and swirled around so it coats the whole pan. There you go. And I'm going to take our 2 portabello mushrooms, and I'm going to take the stems out of those, and I'm going to grab a spoon and dig those out just a little bit. We're going to save those mushroom ends for the chickens too, and all this good mushroom stuff that we scrape out. You're going to want to scrape these out gently because you want enough room to put this stuffing in. You just want to go round and it will layer off and come out. All right, let's get these mushrooms stuffed. We've got them in our cast iron skillet that we've coated with olive oil. We're just going to spoon this mixture in. We're going to kind of heap it up when we put it in too. You can also add some other spices in here. I have spiced my sauce pretty good when I made it, so it's also got some oregano and some fresh basil in it, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, so it's going to have layers of flavor. As you see, we're going to heap this up pretty good. There we go. And then we're going to spoon a couple tablespoons of sauce right on the top of that. Again, the homemade tomato sauce that we made. That looks nice. And then we're going to top those with some sliced mozzarella cheese. Now you don't have to use sliced. I just like it because it will melt evenly in the time that we cook these. It's going to give that nice melt over the top. Put just a little bit more on the very top of these. And we're going to go and stick those in the oven. We're going to cook these at 350 for about 15 minutes to start with, and we'll see how they're doing, because we really don't need it to cook a lot. We just need that cheese to melt and everything to blend together. So let's go get those in the oven. All right, guys, we're at the oven, 350. Let's get this open and let's get these in for 15 minutes, and then we'll check them and see how they look. All right, it's been 15 minutes. Let's see how these are looking. They're pretty good sized. And the cheese is just starting to melt, so I'm going to give it about another 10 minutes. And we'll see how they are. All right, folks. They are done. That cheese is all melted. That was about 25 minutes. They're pretty good size. We're going to let those cool for a second and we'll get them plated up. All right, guys, there we go. We have our stuffed portabello mushroom. We've got hamburger, green olives, zucchini and summer squash in there, mozzarella cheese, and some fresh basil on top, and some homemade spaghetti sauce in the bottom. It's going to be so good. Nice and hot. And there you go, guys. Enjoy. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and that notification if you want to see what's next. And also leave your comments down below.